स्थितः सदा तम् अविज्ञाम् तम् अविज्ञाय मां प्रत्य कृतुर्च विदम्बनम् अहं सर्वेषु भूतेषु भूतात्मावस्थितः सदा तम् अविज्ञा मां मर्त्य कुरुतेर्च विदम्बनम् अहं सर्वेषु भूतेषु भूतात्मावस्थितः सदा तम् अविज्ञा मां मर्त्य कुरुतेर्च विदम्बनम्. Synonyms, translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Synonyms: Aham, I, Sarveshu, in all, Bhuteshu, living entities, Bhutatman, the Supersoul in all beings, Avastita, situated, Sada, always, Ta, that Supersoul, Avajna, disregarding, Mam, name, Martya, a mortal man, Kurute, forms, Archa, of worship of deity, Vidambanam, imitation, translation. I am present in every living being, in every living entity as the Supersoul. If someone neglects or disregards that Supersoul everywhere and engages himself in the worship of the deity in the temple, that is simply imitation. In purified consciousness or Krishna consciousness, one sees the presence of Krishna everywhere. Therefore, if one only engages in deity worship in the temple and does not consider other living entities, then he is in the lowest grade of devotional service. One who worships the deity in the temple and does not show respect to others is a devotee on the material platform in the lowest stage of devotional service. A devotee should try to understand everything in relationship with Krishna and try to serve everything in that spirit. To serve everything means to engage everything in the service of Krishna. If a person is innocent and does not know his relationship with Krishna, an advanced devotee should try to engage him in the service of Krishna. One who is advanced in Krishna consciousness can engage not only the living being, but everything in the service of Krishna. Hare Krishna. So nice. In fact, this first line that we see over here, the first sentence Prabhupada makes, one sees the presence of Krishna everywhere in purified consciousness. So this could be a litmus test for us in terms of where we are to benchmark ourselves. So when we start being conscious of Krishna, Krishna consciousness, then we see Krishna everywhere. This talks to the omnipresence potency of Krishna. Then another point over here is that to serve means to engage everything in the service of Krishna. That's the meaning of service. He should try to understand everything. So nice second point. And the third one is one who is advanced in Krishna conscious can engage not only living beings, but everything, this principle of Yukta Vairagya. So, dear devotees, we will be discussing these today. Hare Krishna. So the theme is the omnipotence of Krishna, and then how we can see him everywhere. All credit to Srila Prabhupada as always. And then I was listening to a class by Damodar Prabhu from Vada. Beautiful. And then the points that he makes, the 6 qualities of Prahlad Maharaj, and how this can help us, the presence of Krishna, how we can bring that into our life. Hare Krishna. What you need to do, practical tips. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirite Nashtaprayeshu Bhatreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavti Naishtuki. Om Ajnantimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादां सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिकान्ता राधकान्ता नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौरङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरि वृषभानु सुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी इति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे Hare Krishna. So, Prabhus, there are 3 points that we can discuss today. So, how do we understand the omnipresent potency? Omnipresent, omni means everywhere. Present, you know what is present. Krishna is everywhere. And this is one of his potencies, one of his qualities of who God is. So, how to understand that? There are major three ways that we could get this. And of course, when you want to understand the truth, you go to the source of the truth, which is the scriptures. Scriptures are the word of God. So the first one is from Brahma Samhita. So what does Brahma Samhita say? Brahma Samhita, you know this. Ishwar Parama Krishna Satchitanand Vigra. Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. He is the origin of all, he has no other origin, and he is the prime cause of all causes. So, keep these 3 points in mind, dear devotees, and then when we get through the next 2, 3 slides, everything will tie up together. So, Ishwar Parama, the Supreme Controller, it straight away declares that it is Krishna. Then we can understand about Krishna, what we have learned from the Shastras is that this body, Satchitananda Vigraha, is Sat, right? Sat means eternality. We also know that he is the supreme proprietor. Of course, we all own things. We have this, we have a house, we have a car, we have the clothes we wear, some kind of investments and savings and this, that, and all. We think we are the owner. No, actually, in reality, we are the caretaker of all these things. The owner is only Krishna, because when we say proprietor, correct, that proprietor would have full control over whatever he owns. We have only partial or limited control, and that too not forever. Hare Krishna. And eternality, you can also see if this extends further, is his omnipresence. So these are all the qualities or attributes of Bhagwan, Krishna, God. Then the next is Chit. Chit means awareness, knowledge. Please understand this thing is in perfection and in totality, absolute, all these attributes. Being the supreme proprietor, he is the supreme controller. And this Chit awareness, you can see, is omniscient. So I'm sitting upstairs here in the bedroom doing the class, and I'm aware, like I'm interacting with you. I'm aware of what's on my screen. I'm also aware outside my window. I can see all these little rabbits and always running around here and there, birds are flying. So I'm aware, but it's just limited, you see. I do not know. Sachi Rani is downstairs in the kitchen doing breakfast. I do not know what she is doing over there. But this awareness is because I'm sitting over here. Krishna is everywhere. So he's omniscient. He knows everything. Hare Krishna. And then the final highest is the Ananda, bliss. Bliss. Bliss is happiness with full satisfaction. No more hankering, not, flickering. Bliss. That is. So supreme enjoyer. Dhanurdhar Maharaja says that a person who is the proprietor and controller, what he has to do, he says, you and I, we have to work. We have to go to office, do this, do that, and all that. Correct? We have to work. Krishna has no work to do. Everything is his only. So what will such a person do? He'll simply enjoy. And we can understand this when we go on vacation, right? We take a break from work. What do you do on vacation? You just sit back and enjoy, relax, correct? So he's the supreme enjoyer and the omnipotence. All the potencies, all the energies is Krishna's, Hare Krishna. So keep this second thing also in mind. Now we'll further discuss this omnipresent, omniscient, and omnipotent. So these three potencies of Krishna, what it means omnipresent is everything is there, whatever reality is there is Krishna and Krishna's. There's nothing outside of that. It's all encompassing. Within and without Krishna. He's within us as Paramatma. He's within every atom. The space between the atom is who Krishna, where Krishna is also residing. And he's also outside. So this is what the omnipresence is. Everywhere it means. So finally you can understand that Krishna is literally everywhere. Krishna is there within you. Krishna is there besides you. As you and me, we are speaking and listening. Whatever that we're doing, Krishna is everywhere. Omniscient is he's the knower of the past, present, and future. And omnipotent is he has three of these. Mainly, it comes in the three classifications, as the internal, marginal, and the external. So the internal energy is, and the marginal are the superior Parashakti, and the external is the inferior material energy, the Maya Shakti. So this is the 3 points we need to consider, and then we move on to knowing more about Krishna's omnipresence. Hare Krishna. So before I came to Krishna consciousness, I used to, I'm very curious by nature, and I always like to see things beyond what it appears. And spirituality, maybe it started when I was very, very early days. My grandmother, maternal grandmother, used to make us every evening pray in front of the home, Diti Shubham Karoti Kalyanam, if you know that prayer. My sister, my cousin, we were a joint family, and we used to do this, but all mechanical. And then we used to hear stories of Krishna, of Lord Ramchandra, so many, Krishna killing Kamsa, lifting Govardhan Hill, of Lord Ramchandra making a stone bridge on water all the way to Lanka, killing Ravana, Lord Shiva, Lord Ganesha. We used to get Ganpati Bappa at home, and we used to do the 1.5. That was the tradition of the family for 1.5 day. Big, big function it used to be in the house. But I had this question, who is God? On one end, everyone says that God is one, but then there are so many, and in the Sanatan culture, there are 33 crore Devi Devatas. So who is really God? And then you also have Christianity, Islam, and this, that. So whose God is God? That was the question. And, asking an adult, the adult would kind of, yeah, God is one, you need to grow up or some, because they themselves did not know. So it's very important over here, a lesson to learn. Dear devotees, children are very, very curious. And when they come to us with a question, we should answer it and not just think of it as childish babble. And just okay, you just do what you go out and play or something like that. And anyway, my maternal grandmother, she took me to she's Punjaban, She used to go every morning to Gurudwara. So I used to go with her. And I was the youngest kid, maybe 7 or 8 years old, sitting there, and all elderly people, senior citizens in that assembly for the morning ardas. And it really fascinated me, Guru Gobind Singh and Sikh culture. So I was trying to find out, and then what would happen in frustration? I used to write. I used to write poetry. I used to write essays. I used to write short stories, uh, things like that. So this is even before coming into Krishna consciousness. I had this feeling that God is everywhere. He's all knowing. But how do you say, it was very hazy and kind of confused. So this is a little a note I had written. Uh, and my mother was the custodian. I used to write it on pieces of paper and forget about it. She used to collect all, and one day she gave this whole thing to me. So this is what I had. What is it that is mine when all there is his? So who am I to judge and persecute? Behold, to the ears of the deaf are the words of a mute. So I thought that, I get all these thoughts, how do you say, all these philosophy things. But, reality in practice, it doesn't go anywhere beyond that. So what is the use of having all these big thinking? It's, all this is falling into the ears of a deaf and the words of a mute. So how will it move the needle? Then thankfully, I was very, very fortunate through the kripa, you know, of a Vaishnav, Krishna's mercy. I came in contact with the devotees at Radha Gopinath Mandir, and then slowly by associating and sitting in lectures like these and reading Prabhupada's books, the whole subject matter of what truth is, what the ultimate truth is, Prabhupada has given us this matchless gift, such a simple. I used to hear a lot of all so many philosophers and all, but it used to really jumble up the mind even further. So Prabhupada's greatest gift is he's simplified everything. So this omnipresence thing, what he did is it answered the question who I am, aham brahmasmi, and it means that I am the infinitesimal part of the infinite whole. This Aham Brahmasmi is a very, very powerful axiom. We all say it, we know the meaning of it. But then, if we actually realize it, if we live our lives according to the spirit soul on that platform of not the material body, it will be a whole different ball game. So, this one thing, Aham Brahmasmi, we need to understand. Then we can get to this thing of what Krishna's omnipresence means. What Prabhupada has further done is he's not just given you what the truth is, how to realize the truth. That's more important. What is important? Why is important? But most important is how we understand. Prabhupada says, people say God is great. So many people say God is great. In fact, in Islam, we have Haribol. They have a saying which says Allahu Akbar. They're praising, glorifying Allah, God in Arabic. Allahu Akbar. God is great. It means, yes, God is great, but how God is great, how God is great. That's what the Shastras gives detailed description of Krishna, Satchitanand Vigraha, his form, what his pastimes are, how he looks, so many things. And how we could actually get to that stage of understanding and realizing all this. That's what Prabhupada did. And what Prabhupada did is he created this society called ISKCON, which allows us these four major pillars, ABCDs. And just by doing that, not only do we understand the truth, but how the truth is the truth. And one more step beyond is then how to actually engage with the truth. That is Prabhupada's, who Prabhupada is. Think about it for a moment, dear devotees, what Prabhupada has given us. So, when we understand this omnipresence of Krishna, what it does, it makes us confident. Prahlad Maharaj's attributes. You're confident. Krishna is there. You know, uh, whomever Krishna wants to protect, literally nothing can destroy. You have this. Then what happens is no longer you are depending on yourself and other fallible creatures. Yeah. You are fully dependent on Krishna. That's the confidence. This confidence is not out of arrogance. This confidence is out of realization of it's who you are, that truth. You're part, right, of Krishna. Krishna won't let anything happen to his part. Conscious. Then when we can literally see Krishna anywhere and everywhere. That is Krishna consciousness. The first line, if you remember, of the puppet, you know, you see Krishna everywhere. You're conscious. That is Krishna consciousness. And you become conscientious. Conscientious is we are doing the right thing. We'll be careful. Like when we go for doing deity service, how careful. Of course, sometimes it becomes mechanical, and mechanical can tend to lead us to, just trying to hurry up or things like that. But you become conscientious. So, what conscientious being is that all these shortcuts and all the all that will just go away. Hare Krishna. Now, how to see him everywhere, what we can do. So we need to know, correct? We need to have this burning desire, I'm aspiring for Krishna. Before we get there, can anyone tell me what is this picture on the left? What pastime of Mahaprabhu it is?
Ramananda Roy.
Jai. Thank you, Prabhu. So Ramaranda Roy and Mahaprabhu, they were having these discussions, and Mahaprabhu was saying, "Tell me more, tell me more, tell me more. All this is external. Tell me more." So from the base level, it goes all the way to the highest realization, and then Mahaprabhu showed his form. Actually, Mahaprabhu would discourage, and he would get very upset when people would realize, some people would realize that he is Bhagwan himself, and he would close his ears and no, 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 it's not that. He came in the role of a devotee. He was setting example. Of course, it's a different thing that, we fallible creatures, so many people claim themselves to be God. They also call themselves Bhagwan, all these new age gurus and all that. So Mahaprabhu revealed actually Sakshad Krishna and Radharani, combined. We know this is who it is. Now, we have Prabhupada has given us that same opportunity. Of course, the deities are there in the temple. We think Krishna is in the deity. We know, this deity is very special. It's not just stone. It's called a murti. People call it idol. No, idol has no life in it. This is a living entity. We think, yeah, Krishna is in the murti. But actually, Radhanath Swami says that's a wrong understanding. It's not that Krishna is in the Murti, it is the Murti is Krishna. This is another one of his expansions. We go there, we see him. But what happens? We have an intellectual understanding, but we don't have a realization of the Murti. So we are disciplining ourselves that, okay, to go there, there's a certain standard. If you're doing direct Murti, deity seva, you need to be a Brahmana, you need to be very clean, so on and so forth. There are different, right, things that you do, those who do deity service. But how do you actually realize that this is Krishna himself? That's Radharani, Panchatattva, Jagannath Baldev, Subhadra Mai. So again, you go back to the Shastra, and then when you know something to aspire, what happens, what that brings, what change it brings about. And then finally, Damodar Prabhu's instructions on how we could get there. This is Prahlad Maharaj's qualities. Hare Krishna. So Brahma Samhita, Premanjanan Charita Bhakti Vilochane Na Santa Sadaiva Hridayeshu Vilokayanti Yam Shama Sundaramachanta Guna Sarupam Govinda Mahadi Purusham Tam Ham Bhajami. Yeah. We can't even understand, all this omnipresent, omniscience, internal, external energy and all is like just an understanding. But Krishna is unlimited. There is no chance of us even trying to figure out. Of course, through his mercy, we can get to know more and more and more. That's why Krishna consciousness, the Shastras are inexhaustible. You read the Bhagavad Gita once, you read it again, every reading gives you new and new meaning and realization. Reading not as in a casual reading, but actually studying it, in a prayerful mood, in a worshipful mood. Read the Chaitanya Charitamrita, the So many books are available. Just it gives you more and more and more meaning. Why? Because it is inconceivable. He is unlimited. Yeah. Now, how does a sadhu see Krishna? Eyes tinged with love. So it is love which brings us in the presence of Krishna. When that happens, what happens? Go back to Bhagavad Gita. Yeah. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne. When that happens, you see everything and everyone in connection to Krishna. You'll see matter in connection to Krishna. You'll see a dog connection to Krishna. There is no distinction. This distinction comes because of our uh, limited understanding that we have, limited understanding of who we are, limited and imperfect who we are, who Krishna is. So that's what we can get to know, this omnipresence of Pandita Sam. We become Pandita Samidarshana, Hare Krishna. Now, how to get over there? This is the key of this omnipresence that we want to do there. What they say, follow in the footsteps of the Vaishnava, of the Guru and Sadhu. So Jayadvaita Maharaj was asked this question, what's the difference between following and imitation? So he gave a very simple answer, following and imitation. Imitation is when you mimic the form, the external, the physical, you mimic the form. So there's a very famous Bollywood film star, and he wears a bracelet with a blue color uh, stone in it, and very, very popular. And, he's the hero. So many young men you'll see in India, they also wear that same bracelet and with that blue thing. So that is form. You're imitating the form, or the hairstyle, the clothes, all external. Whereas following in the footsteps of a Vaishnava is the instructions. When you follow that instruction, that is what is following in the footsteps. So how can we develop following this, what Prahlad Maharaj's story everybody knows, how we can do it? And actually Prabhupada was the embodiment of each of these. So Damodar Prabhu has said, very simple, A, B, C, D, E, F. These are the six qualities. Keep this in mind, A, B, C, D, E, F. So it is starting with absorption, A for absorption. He was all the time thinking of Krishna, fully absorbed. And there are so many things in our day to day life. You don't have to go to the mountains and jungles and sit in a secluded place. No, you don't need to do that. Literally, in everything, you can just be conscious. Something, this is me. Try, make it a habit. Bold. Uh, Prahlad Maharaj was no wilting below. He, Asura, his father, Hiranya Kashipu, he would raise an eyebrow and all the devtas would tremble. That was how powerful and how cruel he was. But he did not even hesitate or blink for a moment. Oh, what should I say? He's asking me this thing. Yes, this is Vishnu. Vishnu is the Supreme Personality, courageous. He was so courageous to, in that environment, in the capital of the Asuras, he would preach Krishna consciousness. And here, when we go for book distribution, we feel a little hesitancy and we tend to approach only people with the same race or same color skin as ours. So we'll go to the, where Indians congregate and do book distribution because but what does courage mean? Courage means to go in these territories. Of course, don't be foolish, take the guidance of a Vaishnava. We need to be careful also, but that is courageous he had. Dedication to Guru. When Hiranyakashipu was willing to take him back to Godhead, he said no. His instruction was to spread Krishna consciousness. So that dedication to Guru is what Prahlad had, Maharaj. Ever well-wisher to all. Ever well-wisher to all. Prabhupada exemplified it. Haridas Thakur exemplified it. Srila Prabhupada, of course, Prabhupada has done all this. If you look at Prabhupada's Leelamrita, you can see this. If you know more about Prabhupada, how he lived each and every one of these qualities. Ever well-wisher. Uh, though they were being tortured, Hiranyakashipu asked him, what did Prahlad ask for the boon? My father, please forgive them. What did Haridas Thakur say? Please forgive these guys who are whipping me. What did Jesus Christ do? Oh, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. They crucified him, they whipped him, they tortured him, they pulled the skin out of his flesh. But what was he doing? Forgive them, they do not know what they're doing. What was Prabhupada? In all his letters, Prabhupada would always sign, your ever well wisher, your ever well wisher. When Prabhupada, you know the story of Mr. Nair, that property in Juhu. Uh, and Prabhupada had remarked, I'm praying to Narsingadev that this demon be killed. He was really very asuric qualities. And then his wife, after he died, his wife carried on the fight. And then finally she broke and she came and apologized to Prabhupada. What did Prabhupada do? You know, uh, a person who has been tormenting you. What did Prabhupada? He says, you are my daughter and I will take care of you. You do not have to worry about your upkeep. Ever well wisher. And finally, faith in God's mercy. So when they were giving poison, he knows he's there, my protector is there. He would offer everything to Krishna, and Krishna would neutralize all the ill effects. So, dear devotees, this is what we can do to uh, actually understand and this. And when we start doing that, we get to that stage, we develop love, we actually understand the majesty and the grandeur. We realize it of Krishna. We can see him everywhere. Pandita Samadarshana, Premanjanan Chirita Bhakti Vilochanena. Yeah. So, dear devotees, any questions, please post it in Nityam Bhagavad Sevaya. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Over to you, Madhubati Prabhu.
Thank you very much, Amritsar Prabhu. We would like to wish everybody a safe and Krishna conscious day and weekend ahead. A weekend of a lot of celebrations. We'll be having a seminar by His Grace Gauranga Darshan Prabhu tomorrow and day after. What's the topic? Tolerance in obstacles or something like that. And tomorrow's timing is from 5:30 to 7:30, and then same way on Sunday from 5 to it starts from 5 to 7:30, so that we can have Gaurarti in between. So take this wonderful opportunity of this wonderful seminar and be absorbed in hearing this wonderful katha seminar, so that you can implement some teachings from it in your sadhana. We would like to offer our prayers to the Supreme Lord by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama.
Shri Nrsimha, Jai Nrsimha, Jai Jai Nrsimha, Praladesha, Jaya Padma, Mukha Padma Bringam. Ugraveera Mahavishram Sarvato Mukham Nrsimham Bhishram Badram Mithya Mithya Ramyam Nrsimha Bhagwan ki jai.
Jai,
Prahlad Maharaj ki jai.
Jai.
Let's offer our humble obeisances to all the assembled Vaishnavas. Vanchakalpataru
Patita Nam
Bhavane Bhayo Vaishnave Namo Vaishnavrinda ki jai.
Jai,
Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Jai,
Srila Prabhupada
ki Jai.
Gaur Premanande.
Hari, 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 Hari Bo.
Thank you, Amrita.
Thank you, everybody. Hari Bo, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Thank you, everyone. Hare